This is gonna be really hard for me, you guys. Really, really hard. Hi everybody, welcome back to Project Happy Home. For those of you who are new here, I'm Tanya, a doctor, lawyer, turned homeschool mom of 3 kids ages 9, 6, and 4. Now in this video, I'll be telling you all about one of my big projects for 2019, and that is I am embarking upon a no-buy year. Do you know what a no-buy year is? I feel like a no-spend year is a much more popular concept, and basically I think what people do with a no-spend year is simply try to spend as little money as possible. And it has varied roots, both financial and for minimalist kind of decluttering purposes. But I think with a no-spend year, most people are trying to save money and bulk up their savings and just see how much they can stop wasting money. A no-buy year, in contrast, is a little bit more focused on stuff and physical quantity of stuff and decluttering rather than actually saving money. One of the reasons for that is my husband and I are fairly comfortable and we're honestly fairly frugal given our income level. So the amount of money spent is not the issue here. And I actually fully intend to keep spending money on things like experiences, like movies or vacations or activities for the kids to do or date nights, etc. I have no intentions of being particularly frugal with food and things like that any more than we already are. But I do want to stop buying extraneous things. Part of the reason for that is because last year I focused a lot on minimalism and decluttering. As most of you know, we downsized by over 2,500 square feet, so that necessitated almost from the first day, a lot of decluttering on our part anyway. We took a couple U-Haul trips and donated a vast quantity of belongings. We instituted a couple of other things like a 3 things blessing every Saturday where every member of the household gathers up 3 things they'd like to donate. So that's 15 things out a week. This year, I'm also trying to do a 1 thing every day thing just for myself personally, where I pick out 1 thing, whether it's a shirt or a book or a fork or something that we don't need, just to put it into the donation bin. We always have a donation bin running in our garage, so periodically whenever that gets full, we take it to the Salvation Army or a Goodwill near us. So I feel like I've instituted a lot of things for the outflow of belongings from our house. However, we still had a lot of things coming in. The influx hadn't stopped. And that was really on me. 1, because I really like thrifting, and so I would buy a vast quantity of books from the thrift store. And initially, when I thought about not buying things this year, I had an exception for myself. I was like, I'm going to do a no-buy year except for books. My husband very kindly pointed out to me that that would be meaningless because 95% of what I buy are books. So if you've seen my thrift hauls in the past, basically they're just books, plus like a basket to hold the books in. So I realized that if I made the exception of books, that would not be a very effective no-buy year. So I'll go ahead and tell you what the set rules are for my no-buy year, because I think having written down my rules, I'm much more likely to follow through with them. There's like a hard box around what I can buy and what I can't buy. And also, I'll tell you how the first 10 odd days of this have been going for me. And honestly, I thought it wouldn't be hard at all in the first couple weeks, even months, but it has been. And it is drawn into sharp focus for me how often I purchase things out of boredom. So before I launch into the rules of my no-buy, let me tell you why I'm actually doing it. So I touched upon the fact that I want to stop the influx of things just to encourage my progression towards minimalism, or really more of an essentialism. I'm not looking to have an apartment with 1 vase holding 1 single flower and a throw rug on the floor with no couches. I'm really after a practical sort of minimalism, but I realize that it's really more of an essentialism. I want to curate my life down into what is essential to us, and I want to let go of all the things that are not serving our life right now at this moment in time. Because when I reflected on why I actually go thrifting and why I actually buy so many books and why I wander aisles when I'm without the children, it's because I can't think of anything else to do. And as sad as that sounds, it's true. We recently moved here. I don't have very many friends in the area. I don't live near that many activities for myself. Thrift stores seem to be a really easy option. If I get 2 hours where my husband can watch the kids, I can go and sort of numbly kind of look around and maybe find a treasure. And even though I really do enjoy that and I love looking through books and things like that, I own hundreds of books that I have not read. So the two main reasons that I'm doing the No Buy Year is one, to encourage our path towards essentialism, towards having reduced possessions in this house, but two, to also just stop shopping out of boredom and to fill that boredom with something that is much more meaningful to me. For example, reading all those books. And then to get to my actual rules for the no buy, and I'll be looking down occasionally because I have written them all down in my trusty Hobonichi. When is the no buy supposed to last? No buy will run from January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2019. Now, how will I do Christmas shopping? Again, that falls under a necessity for us. We will try to maintain our essentialist principles and not buy more than is necessary, but I find a few Christmas presents for each of my children necessary. So that is allowed within my no buy year. However, I will not be buying things throughout the year in the way that I normally do. And I have made this clear to the children as well. If they want to buy something, they have ways of earning money in our house, and they are free to spend their money on whatever they would like. They can save up for it. They can ask their father or I for extra chores to do to make extra money. They are free to spend any money from their grandparents, etc. That will do two things, right? One, it prevents me from buying every single interesting educational toy that I see. And two, it teaches them how to take more responsibility over buying themselves things that they're interested in. Another why that I forgot to mention before as to why I'm doing a no buy year is because I was also shopping to quell a little bit of anxiety. I went through sort of a trauma about 4 years ago, and it really amped up my anxiety level in many, many ways. And I realized that from that time forward, I would spend my nights sort of browsing on my phone and looking through Amazon and seeing what deals were available. And while I wasn't really buying much for myself, I was buying a lot of things for our new homeschool project that we were embarking on. I was buying things to strive for my fantasy self, you know, our fantasy life, our fantasy homeschool, our fantasy home. And not so much in terms of like extravagant purchases, more like felt tip pens and this perfect curriculum and this vitamin drink that would make me that healthy, shiny person that I always wanted to be. You know, little things that were more about pursuing a fantasy ideal than about honoring who I am now and how I want to grow in small ways. That would be the third prong of my why. I want to train myself to address my boredom and my anxiety in more healthy and productive ways than simply shopping. So I have 8 basic rules for my no buy year. The first one is no extraneous purchases, as I've mentioned. That means no books, no games, no decor, no clothing, no shoes, unless children grow out of them. But honestly, I have a bunch kind of stockpiled, so it shouldn't be a problem. No toys, no makeup whatsoever. I honestly wear very little makeup in real life. Like in this video right now, I have my eyebrows down, I have mascara on, and I have lipstick and blush on, and that's it. And that's really all I need. And I have lots of lipsticks. I have mascara. I will be replacing my mascara as needed because it's an eye product. But in terms of that type of stuff, it's only as needed. It's not like, oh, I've heard about this other great mascara, I will try it. So that's rule number 1, is just no extraneous purchases. Rule number 2 is gifts are allowed. So I'm allowed to buy gifts for other people, for birthdays, for Christmas, for anything that typically requires a gift, for teachers at the end of the year, things like that. I'm allowed to buy gifts for other people. If I see something that brings someone else joy and I want to buy it for them, there are no restrictions on that. Rule number 3 is that if someone gives me a gift card, I am not allowed to spend it on an extraneous purchase. And that simply means that if someone gives me a gift card to TJ Maxx or Target, I am not allowed to go and like buy up all the cute things in the dollar spot and buy myself a new scarf that I don't need or whatever. Gift cards are just money, and I should save them for things that I actually need, like fruits and vegetables and milk at Target, for example. Rule number 4 is about food. I am not restricting my spending on food, except to say that when I see that awesome bag of Skittles at the checkout counter, which I might have bought without thinking for my kids, I'm simply going to tell them no because we're doing a no buy year. And that just has the added benefit of less Skittles for the kids. Apart from that, we eat pretty healthy here, and I'll continue to eat pretty healthy. I'll continue to buy the treats that people truly love, like truffles and things like that. But I'm not going to put too many restrictions on food. I fully intend on going on date nights and eating well with my husband. I fully intend on taking the kids out for at least like a monthly dinner out, etc. Rule number 5 is about cleaning supplies. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a little bit of a cleaning supply junkie. I don't know why, because I don't enjoy cleaning at all, but I love cleaning supplies. I love green cleaning supplies like from Grove, and I think it extends towards that fantasy self, you know, that 50s housewife with pearls and like a cheerful smile and a broom that we all wish we were. And I love the idea of those buckets, you know, holding all the cleaning supplies, and I have too many. The bottom line is I have too many. So I'm not allowed to buy any more cleaning supplies until I run out of a specific category. Rule number 7, and this is a biggie, nothing for homeschooling until absolutely necessary, and then nothing that is not essential. So I am an eclectic homeschooler. I also do YouTube videos about homeschool, and so I have purchased over the years quite a bit of curricula, and things have been sent to me as well to review and to look at and to evaluate. And like I said, we don't have financial restraint really on that part of our life, so I have felt free to buy every single educational thing that I think would be inspiring to my kids. However, last year I actually decided upon some curricula that have been working for us for a couple of years that I really enjoy, that I think whether or not the kids gripe about them every now and then suit us perfectly fine. So I'm going to try to stick to that and not buy unnecessarily, no matter how beautiful the Instagram post about whatever curricula somebody just came out with. Final rule is sort of something that I referred to back at number 1, but I think it bears repeating, is no home goods or decor. That means no wall art, no flowers, no Target dollar spot random glass pumpkin for the table. Nada, zilch, zippo, nothing. We have plenty of decor. I like the decor. We even have boxed up decor in the garage from our old house. We have many, many paintings and things that we have not taken the time to hang yet. So this year will be all about using what we have and not adding anything at all to our physical, like decorative spaces. So those are my 8 basic rules. Now, what am I actually allowed to buy? And I've touched upon this a little bit too. Food, whatever I want, trying to keep it healthy, but whatever I want. Like if I want dessert at a nice restaurant, I'm getting dessert at that nice restaurant. And sometimes I'll get it first because that's the way I roll. 2 is necessities. Obviously, we are going to be buying toilet paper and things like that. We are a cloth towel home, so we run through paper towels very, very slowly, but I do keep them on hand for the grosser things. And necessities, like I said, eye makeup. As I run out, I don't really like to use my eye makeup over 3 months anyway, just for sanitary reasons, so I will replace my mascara as needed. Obviously, I will be buying things for household maintenance, everything from cleaning supplies if we run out to things like, you know, having a carpet cleaning done or a vent cleaning if we need new light bulbs, etc. Things that are required for the upkeep of our house don't fall within this no-buy rule. However, if I see that Amazon has a lightning deal on a fancy schmancy hose, I won't be buying it in the way that I used to, because I'm not going to buy things that I don't actually need. Toiletries. Toiletries I'm allowed to buy only when we run out. Now, I am a stockpiler of toiletries. Sometimes if I see a 3-pack of something that I like, I will buy it. If I have extra care bucks at CVS, I will buy 5 deodorants if that gets me another 10 extra care bucks. That is not going to happen this year. I have a good stockpile running of things like that, and we are going to finish everything before we buy anything new. However, as I mentioned, for hygienic reasons, if there's anything I have to replace, like bath poofs I replace at the end of every month, those things will be purchased. Seasonal wear. If we need to buy something for seasonal wear, for example, if the children outgrow their rain boots or their snow boots or their raincoats, or if we decide to go skiing and we need new ski pants that fit, those things are allowed. Things that actually keep us healthy and safe and at the appropriate temperature are all allowed within my no-buy year. Last but not least, I am going to avoid certain stores entirely. And that means physically as well as online. I am not a very frequent shopper in real life. I don't very frequently enter stores. In fact, once I was purchasing something at a store and American Express called me in line to explain that they were denying my card because I don't shop in stores, so they assumed that my card had been stolen. That's how infrequently I shop at a place like a department store. For me, it's not so much about not going to stores as eliminating online shopping. One of the things that I've done for that is I enrolled in unrollme.com, and I will link that in the description box down below because it basically rolls up all the emails that you don't want to see every day. So for example, I still want to be on the Oshkosh Bagosh mailer list because when I need to buy clothes, I like to keep an eye out for their coupons. But I don't need to see all of their promotions in my inbox until I actually need to buy those clothes, right? So I roll up that email and they basically curate all of those sale emails or any email that you don't really want to see every day into one email. And if you don't feel like opening up that email at all, you don't see any of those advertisements. And it just gives your brain a little like break from having to say, oh, okay, I see that, but I'm not going to do it. This way you don't even see it, so you don't have to think about it. So unrollme.com is a really good first step if you're a big online shopper. 2, I just deleted all the shopping apps from my phone because it was just too much of a temptation at night in particular because my husband goes to sleep earlier and I just have my phone there and that's just a problem. 3, I'm going to stop sleeping with my phone. Last year when I was talking about social media and just getting off of it, I talked about not doing that, like not keeping my phone with me, and I did it for like 2 or 3 weeks and then I failed completely, like just nosedive into having my phone with me at night again. And this year I'm going to put my phone to bed in the bathroom so that I just wake up with a regular alarm clock and I read at night with my little nightlight. And so those are the 3 main things that I'm doing. I'm also going to avoid the stores that I actually do go into, which is thrift stores and the Dollar Tree and TJ Maxx and Ross. You know how they're all kind of in a row in the strip malls? I love a bargain, I really do, and I love browsing. I hate like stores where you know exactly what you're gonna find. I know most people love that, but I don't. I like the treasure hunt feel of it, and this year I'm just going to resist entirely because I know myself, and I know that if I go into a thrift store and find an amazing book about, I don't know, nocturnal animals that has flaps, it's going to take more strength than I have to not buy that. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm not going to tempt myself that way. And this is going to be the year of me not going thrifting, which is sad. It is. It's a little bit sad. But I am going to replace that lack with the joy of actually reading the things that are on my shelf, of curating books as I read them, like getting rid of the ones that I didn't enjoy, that I wouldn't really keep. And I'm just really excited for this year. So if you guys find that you do a good old job of decluttering, you've been doing a good job of getting rid of things, but you still buy stuff and you still have things coming in and you want that to stop, or if you really do want to try to save money, I really advise that you look into either a no spend year or a no buy year. And just for me, I would really appreciate it if you guys would hold me accountable. I'll be posting about it on Instagram as well at Project Happy Home. So follow me there. But I'm going to try to see how much I can do with all the things we already have. I'm going to take that treasure hunt that used to be in the thrift store and discount stores and bring it to my home, because I do have a lot of educational things that we sort of gloss over or we don't use. I do have a lot of games that we haven't even tried yet. I have hundreds of books that I haven't read yet. I have clothes that I haven't worn in years, things like that. I want to shop for my own house, for homeschool, for my wardrobe, for living, for my toiletries, etc. I want to use all the things that I've already spent money on. So if you are looking to declutter or if you're looking to save money, I really recommend that you join me on this no spend year. And if you want to start small, try just doing like a no spend month, like the month of February, for example, or the rest of January, because I think it'll surprise you what your tendencies are. There have been instances this month where I went to CVS because I had a severe burn over the holidays. And it's a burn that's about, it's across my abdomen. It's about 9 inches tall by about 12 inches wide, which on a person like me is basically my entire abdomen. It was 2nd degree burns and it requires a lot of wound care. Like right now, I still have like a full-on bandage across my abdomen. And I frequently have to go to CVS to just sort of, get more wound care supplies because they only have this many out there. I passed my favorite like Wet n Wild soft cream matte lipsticks, and I picked up like 3 or 4 as my usual sort of style is, you know, kind of look to see what I need. And I put them in my basket, and my daughter was like, aren't we doing a no spend year? You know, my 6-year-old, and I was like, yes. And she's like, you don't need those lipsticks. And I was like, I know, I don't need those lipsticks. It's true. It's sad, but it's true. I don't need them. And so I put them all back in their appropriate locations, and I felt so good. And I realized that so many of the things we buy are just out of habit. We're used to going to this aisle when we go to CVS. We're used to making sure we have that extra, you know, I don't know, hairspray or whatever. I really recommend it even for a short time because it will really highlight to you when you do your shopping, what your little triggers are, what makes you want to buy something, what feelings of lack or fear of scarcity you have when you don't buy it and you make that decision not to. It's really very illuminating and interesting. Thank you for hearing me out, you guys. I look forward to seeing where this takes me this year, and I encourage you to join me. As always, thank you so much for your time, and I wish you the very best day.